everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 7, Episode 37. The DJI Neo is here. We've already got 11 people in the house. Let's see who's lighting up the comments board already. John Olson is in here. Welcome, John. Jody, Drone Shots. Jaybird is here. Let's see, Art is here. Drone Views Media. Richard is here. Flying John is here. Flying Flynn Media. Let's see who else. Casey Crime Fighter, welcome, my friend. All right. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Yeah, I'm going to save something for the end. I got a little bit of a medical update personally. I want to share with you at the end of the show here tonight. So, yeah, DJI Neo. What else can I say? Ron's going to be joining me here in a little bit, and Marcus is going to be in probably about the last 15 minutes or so of the evening tonight. Thank you all for stopping by tonight. Appreciate your stopping by here. Got a lot to talk about actually, and I think the first thing, let's see here. We're gonna talk a lot about the Neo tonight because there is actually a lot to talk about. But unfortunately, some news has reared its ugly head with the House of Representatives again, and I'd be remiss if we didn't spend a few minutes and talk about that. Okay. U.S. House votes to ban sale of future DJI drones. Okay. The bill, which still requires approval from the U.S. Senate, would prevent future DJI drones from operating on U.S. communication infrastructure. Notably, the proposed ban would not affect DJI drones already in use within the country. Representative Frank Pallone, the leading Democrat on the House Energy and Commerce Committee, emphasizes that the bill aims to safeguard U.S. infrastructure from potential risks posed by future DJI products. With this action, Congress will ensure that future versions of DJI drones cannot be imported, marketed, or sold in the United States. Concerns over national security have driven lawmakers to push for stricter regulations against Chinese-made technology, including DJI drones. U.S. officials have long suspected that DJI devices could pose risk due to potential access by the Chinese government. However, DJI has consistently denied these allegations, asserting the company does not share sensitive data with any government. To be clear, while critics have propagated a multi-year political campaign alleging security issues with DJI drones, third-party audits and end-user testimony have reflected otherwise, DJI says. In response to the bill, DJI has criticized the measure, stating it restricts U.S. government operators' ability to choose the best equipment for their needs. DJI has been the drone of choice for public safety in the U.S. for years, and with good reason. The reliability and robustness of DJI's drone platforms have helped numerous public safety agencies save lives and keep first responders safe. Losing access to the best equipment in the market means losing access to critical situational awareness in all forms of high-stakes situations, risking American lives. Okay, and this is a very good article here. One of the other things I want to do, there's another article that I want to bring up here, so to speak. Hang on a second here. There's actually a couple that I want to bring up here, and this post is from Hi Kesterlu at Drone XL. So let's go ahead and look at this here. U.S. House of Representatives approved the Countering CCP Drones Act, a bill aimed at banning the operation of new drones from Chinese manufacturer DJI Global in the U.S. The move is part of a broader series of measures targeting China. Okay. And people in the comments aren't holding anything back. This one gentleman says, Skydio and Adam Bry are complete scumbags. They can't compete with DJI, so they use their politicians to do the dirty work instead of building a decent product, which they can't do. The reps are pushing this are scumbags and trash too. This legislation goes through all the way. I will never purchase or recommend Skydio trash ever. So yeah, and then I'm going to also go to and share someone we all know and love, and I say that with deep sincerity, original Dobo. I am just incredibly good friends with him. Such a great guy. Okay. Adam Bry, how much did this cost Skydio? Okay. And Elise Stefaniak is puffing out her chest and is all proud of this. And now remember, a couple things. This still has to go to the Senate. Okay. So just to let you guys know that. So all is not lost as far as that's concerned. But, just it really, it really is just reeking. And, the more comments I see, and I know Hi Kestelou has posted some things about this as well. And he had an exchange with somebody today that said, oh, yeah, he knows that they're being put on these servers and they're downloading it and stuff. And Hi asked him for information on it to prove his claim, and he couldn't. He didn't have anything. So it's a 3-hour discussion, and well, I couldn't find that. I don't know if that tweet has been deleted or not. I did take a screenshot of it earlier, but okay, yeah, Jay Bird, I kind of think they will. And it has to get signed off by the president. But the more I think about it, the more I think, it's a combination of things, but I think a lot of what is driving this is, I think, Adam Bry, Skydio, and there's another manufacturer too, have their hands in the cookie jar with this. Because if you really think about it, and I know some people have said, have said, no, that's not it. Okay. Well, what kind of lends credence to this? Okay. Because if you read the bill that was passed, okay, it would only ban future drones. Okay. So we have these drones here present. Aren't they going to be transmitting data? Aren't they going to be transmitting sensitive infrastructure like the details of the Snake River Canyon, or the details of Lucy the Elephant in Margate, New Jersey, or the details of my clubhouse in Wimauma, Florida here for our community? I mean, really, think about it. Okay. Think about that. Okay. Because yes, drone views, 100%. This has nothing to do with national security, because if it did, they would ban the current drones. They would ban the drones that we already own right now. All right. It's just, yeah, I just shake my head and I don't know what else to say. Jay Bird, that's a good question. I don't know, because the election's coming up. It may get put off. I don't know. That's a good question. Yes, Lucy Elephant. Yes, it has drone views. It really has. We all know how Ron has just stolen state secrets about Lucy the Elephant and passed them on to all these communist nations out there. And likewise Marcus with his Snake River Canyon videos. And my gosh, it's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And you know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say this. Representative Stefaniak or any other congressman, okay, or senators, if you want to come on my show, you are more than welcome to come on my show and state your position for us. Tell us what is happening. Show us the proof. Show us the proof that sensitive data is being transmitted over to the Chinese Communist Party. Show us this, okay? No one has made a mention of one word about this, all right? Not one word about this. It's just I don't know. And I really kind of think, and this is just me, I think this is going to be tabled because of the election. I don't know. I've been wrong. I've said some things about this and I've been wrong. I thought they would table it. I thought this wouldn't get to where it is, but it's here. And I think a large part of this is due to lobbyists putting pressure on them, because another American drone company wasn't able to put out quality products. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I really don't know what to say other than this, but there's some great voices out there. Vic Moss is fantastic. He's a great, and if you're not part of the Drone Advocacy Alliance, I think that's what it is. Please sign up. Please join it. And you know what? It's still not too late to contact your senators. Okay, you have 2 senators from each state. And if you sign up for the Drone Advocacy Alliance, I believe there are links to get you their phone numbers. Don't just send an email. Give them a call. Okay, the more that they have about this, the better. So, who knows? Can we fight Big Brother? Can we fight, lobbyists and their hundreds of thousands of dollars? Maybe. I don't know. Waypoint New England, thank you. Thank you for posting that. Appreciate that. Okay. There's the link here. DroneAdvocacyAlliance.com. Guys, go out there. Get out there. Contact your senators, your United States senators, and tell them. Not just by email, call them up as well. I've done that with both of mine, okay? And I've done it multiple times. Don't do it multiple times in one day. I've done it multiple times over a week's period, all right? And they record all these. They see all these, okay? And hopefully our voices can be heard. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say. That's possible, Carlos. That is entirely possible. It's attached to that defense spending bill, and yeah. So, all right. Well, that's where we're at with this, and we're just going to kind of leave that there for now. Okay. There was an insane deal out there, an absolutely, positively insane deal on the Avata 2. Okay. We're going to look at that and look at what the current price is on it now, which is really good. Okay. DJI Avata Goggles 2 combo falls $788, guys. $788. That is pure insanity. Okay. Pure insanity. All right. Now, right now, it was $788, and I'm going to go ahead and go over. Now, this is through B&H, and let me go ahead and bring their link up. I thought I had their link up here, and I don't know where it is. Yes, I do have that. Okay. Now, that $788 is not available anymore, but, and this is the good news. Speaking of good news, there he is himself, Mr. Ron Brown.
There's good news tonight, Bill?
There's good news.
You mean besides the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers are undefeated at 1-0?
Well, they're undefeated because they have a defense. That's why.
And Chris Boswell.
Yeah. Well, as I posted, Chris Boswell 18, Falcons 10. Okay. Yes. I just seriously. And we will talk more about that. But the Avata 2 was listed at $788. But B&H has it for $848 with DJI Goggles 2. Ron, this is a crazy, awesome deal here.
That's the Avata 1, though, right?
This is the Avata 1. Okay, the Avata 2 is gone. Thank you for that. But it's still, this is a good deal.
Yes. I mean, I think we've seen some good sales on the Avata 1. Before, but this is good because of course you get the goggles and the motion too. But the bad news is, Bill, those accessories aren't compatible with the little Neo. You won't be able to fly the Neo with those goggles Integra and the motion too. So anybody looking for compatibility with the newest hardware, you're kind of stuck with just flying with older hardware.
That's true. That's very true. So. But I mean, that was a great sale to have that on for one day for that kind of price. That was crazy. Awesome. That really was just off the chart.
And the thing is that, it's hard to get, with the Avata 1, it's tough because remember the Avata 1 was $12.99 with just the goggles kit or whatever. And the Avata 2 started out at $9.99. So the Avata 2 was right out of the gate was $300 cheaper. So that makes it really tough to to get a Avata 1 sale that really sounds that good because the Avata 2 was cheaper and better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of nice to see that. Now, one of the other things that came up today, and I thought this was real interesting, and I don't know if you heard of this before. It's called the Trace.
I don't think so.
Go ahead and get this up here. Okay. Trace, new pocket-sized drone for covert aerial surveillance. Drone maker Vantage Robotics has unveiled Trace, a new pocket-sized nano drone for covert aerial reconnaissance. Trace weighs only 153 grams, but carries a multi-camera system and can fly for up to 30 minutes with a single battery. Vantage Robotics CEO Tobin Fisher explains the Trace has been designed to meet the needs of national security, law enforcement, and critical infrastructure management customers. Despite its extremely compact form, the U.S.-made drone manages to offer the capabilities of much larger intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance platforms at a significantly less price than competing solutions. Detailed pricing, however, is available only on request. So
I bet you it's not $199, Bill.
I would agree with you 100%. Trace allows for unmatched covert reconnaissance capabilities through an exceptionally low noise signature, gimbal stabilized 48 megapixel visible light and 320 by 240p thermal cameras with 24x zoom. A 640 by 480 IR version expected to be available in the near future. Okay. Wow. So
that's a camera drone, not an FPV, right?
Right. That's a camera drone. That's exactly what that is. So
yeah, awful good
very
interesting
interesting
for that small size.
And it's made in the United States. I mean, this is a United States company.
Oh, so Miss Stefanik and her crew won't have any issues with this drone.
No, they won't. No, they won't. You know, and we had just talked about that, but I mean, that exchange that Heike Kestelou had with that gentleman who said he could prove that all that data was being sent over to Alibaba servers over in China, and all. Wow, I was like, dude, how do you know that? All right, how can you even begin to know something like that? All right, yeah. Well, the other thing,
maybe that's where Stefanik's getting all her info from.
Well, I put out a general invitation during my talk about that, and I invited Congressman Stefaniak to come on the show. I invited other persons from that House Select Committee come on the show. Other senators, you were more than welcome to come on the show. And our question is this: show us the proof. Show us how this is endangering national security. And you know what's really kind of bogus about this? The bill that they passed, Ron, okay, this will ban future DJI drones, but we're allowed to keep our existing ones, okay? So if it's a national security concern, you'd want to wipe out the existing drones. Am I right?
Right. What, an old drone can't get sensitive information?
Yeah. So, you know, and I got to thank our good friend Original Dobo and several other people who are pointing the finger at Adam Bry and Skydio. And, you know, this is really just sounding really like a lobbyist effort because they weren't successful. They want to push DJI out and they, you know, want to try to come in and rule the roost. And, you know, Adam Bry wasn't so hot his first go around with Skydio, Ron. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can be honest and say, well, listen, we just want to get DJI the game here because nobody else is going to be able to compete in this space as long as DJI is making drones. Nobody can be that honest, right, Bill?
Yeah, nobody. So, you know, I'm just like, for me,
that would be like say, you know, the American car companies got mad at like Toyota and had the senators ban Toyota because the cars may be spying on us or whatever.
Yeah,
just because Toyota's taking over the spot as #1 car maker in the world. Why not just ban them and then the American car companies can sell more cars? I mean, that's not the way things work.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I want to apologize. I had my banner up at the top.
Yes,
it had Florida Panthers Den. So I apologize for that.
For all the Vegas fans out there.
Yeah, I wanted to get. I saw that and I said, you know, I think I better correct that. So that has been noted and taken care of. I'm sure I'll get a comment or two about that as well. But You know, Ron,
Does the Florida Panthers, do they have a huge national following, or are they just popular in South Florida?
you know what? They're starting to get a national following because they won the Stanley Cup.
Right.
So they're getting a lot more exposure right now in the hockey world, and they're really catching fire. A lot of people are warming up to the thought because it's their first time they won the Stanley Cup in their 30-year history. So it's a monumental achievement for them. And
I don't want to turn this into Hockey Nation, but who's the New York Yankees of the NHL, or
people were saying like maybe the Edmonton Oilers, but you know, they didn't win the Stanley Cup this year. And other people were saying probably even maybe the Rangers were, but they didn't get to the finals.
So there is no New York Yankees of the NHL.
Really, no, not right now. Because it's so hard to repeat, like, you know, going, you know, back-to-back championships. The last time it was done was the Penguins back in 16 and 17. So it's been a while since that's happened. It's a real grind. I mean, that's a brutal playoff system. You have to win 16 games in the playoffs. It is.
So it's not for the faint-hearted, right?
Positively brutal here.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to spend some time and talk about one of our favorite subjects here, the DJI Neo. Okay.
Oh my.
You know,
they're just taking the world by storm, man.
Exactly. Well, I don't know if you saw, Adobo has already got out guards for the Neo on his Etsy store, so you can purchase them. Neon green.
It needed already has. Guards, doesn't it? Oh, you mean bumpers? That's bumpers.
Bumpers, yeah, the bumpers that he sells.
Maybe bumpers or whatever. Yeah,
that he's selling. He just had those listed today.
Oh, now, good.
Now, several things here. In the first thing,
we can order the bumpers before we can get the drone in.
Yeah, you'll get the bumpers in before you get the drone. I mean, that's just crazy stuff here. DJI makes RC N3 compatible with Mini 4 Pro and Air 3 drones. Okay. And obviously that's by firmware update here too.
Right.
The RC N3 comes with a maximum operating time of 3.5 hours and a charging time of around 2 hours, weighing just 320 grams. The compact controller is designed to secure the mobile device, while the DJI Fly app on the mobile device displays high definition camera feed in real time. Okay.
I upgraded my Mini 4 Pro this weekend, and I saw it in the, I saw that it was capable with that new RC N3. So I saw that pop up. Yeah.
Right. That popped up. And
Marcus had a little chart last night. Shows that the battery life is significantly less in the RC N3 compared to what we're used to in our current controllers.
Yes, I did notice that. And I think probably part of that is due to the fact that when you're attaching the phone to it, I think it probably trickle charges the phone. I don't think there's a way around that. I could be wrong.
You used to be able to turn that off, but I don't know if you still can.
Yeah, I don't know if you can still do that or not. So I think that's probably part of the reason of that. So
and plus, if you're just flying it with the intended drone, the DJI Neo, then you didn't fly along anyway, so you don't need a lot of battery life in the controller.
No, you really don't, because again, the runtime that you'll have with a Neo, I mean, that's just, that really kind of is, a moot point. Well, one of the other things that I did see today before we actually, in this article here, and I'm trying to bring it up here. Okay. Takes a look at the Neo, but also compares it against the Hover Air X1 Pro and Pro Max. So let's go ahead and bring this up here. I thought this was a very interesting article here. And lists the key specs of the Neo drone: 135 grams, 12 megapixel, half-inch sensor, 4K at 30 frames per second, stabilization, single-axis mechanical gimbal with rock steady and horizon balancing, flight time up to 18 minutes, maximum control range 50 meters, Wi-Fi based. Unique features: voice control via HeyFly, wireless audio recording, and quick shot modes. Price $199 for basic, $289 for the 3 battery combo. Okay. Hover Air X1 Pro and X1 Pro Max flying action cameras. Okay. The Pro, 191.5 grams, 4K at 60 frames per second, 1080p at 120 frames per second, slow-mo, 16 minutes flight time, built-in electronic image stabilization, automatic obstacle detection, gesture control, multiple cinematic modes, 29 early bird offer. Okay. Hover Air X1 Pro Max, 192.5, 8K at 30 frames per second, 4K at 120 frames per second, 10-bit HLG, 16 minutes, an extra vision sensor for better follow me guidance and safer flying, $579 early bird in offer. Okay. Both Hover Air drones also come with a variety of flight modes and one-click buttons, making them user-friendly while offering precision and capturing fast-moving objects or unique angles. The X1 Pro's 240 frames per second recording mode in 1080p is a standout for creating slow-motion effects, while the Pro Max's 8K video capability sets it apart from most drones in this size class. 00 said it's begun the production of the final products and intends to start shipping the drones sometime in October. Key differences, okay? Camera and video quality. The Neo captures 4K at 30 frames per second, ideal for casual videographers. In contrast, the Hover Air X1 Pro and Pro Max record in 4K at 60 frames per second and 8K at 30 frames per second, respectively, offering higher resolution and faster frame rates for professional-grade footage. Flight time. The Neo offers a longer flight time, 18 minutes, compared to the Hover X1 Pro, and X1 Pro Max is 16 minutes, giving users more time in the air for capturing content. Stabilization. While the DJI Neo comes with a single-axis mechanical gimbal for stabilization, the Hover Air drones have a two-axis gimbal with EIS and HL horizon leveling, so your footage will be rock steady even when the adventure is rough, okay? User control and ease of use. DJI Neo has simpler controls, including voice activation and quick shots, tailored for beginners or casual users. The Hover Air models are better suited for more experienced drone operators with wider control options, including motion control, haptic feedback, and higher precision joystick control for professional content creating. Price point and shipping date. Starting at just $199, the DJI Neo is significantly more affordable than the Hover Air X1 Pro, $429, and Pro Max, $579. If budget is concerned and 4K resolution is sufficient, the Neo provides excellent value. For those requiring top-tier resolution and more advanced features, the Hover Air models justify their higher costs. Also keep in mind that the Neo pre-orders will begin to ship on October 6th from Amazon, but your receipt of Hover Air products will depend entirely on how early you order them. Okay, that's a lot right there.
That's a mouthful, Bill.
It really is. I think it all boils down to, the hovers are really kind of geared more towards the professionals, and I would say when I use the term loosely, I would say advanced hobbyists. Okay, like I would call yourself, myself, Marcus, Johnny, Ray. We're not beginners. Okay, we've been around the block a few times. Okay, and this is something I think we could be able to put to good use. Now the Neo, it's going to be perfect for what I call the TikTokers and the Instagrammers. It's going to make great video for them, and it's going to be very quick and easy to transfer that kind of video on there. DJI's made that case really clear and very, very succinct. So, I mean, really, there's the comparison is really, it's like comparing apples and oranges in this case, Ron.
Yeah, I mean, that Tom is pointing out in the chat, kind of the same drone. Well, I mean, they are the same. If you're only buying a Neo as a selfie drone, then they compare. But if you're buying a Neo to do something else, then they don't compare. But as you point out, the specs, the camera specs are so good that, like the Hover Pro Max, that pushes the specs on our better DJI drones, like the Mini 4 Pro, the Air 3. It pushes the specs on those drones. So yeah, I mean the camera quality is a world difference from the Neo on the two new hovers, especially that Pro Max.
Yeah, and like Tom just put it there, yeah, it's exactly right, Tom. It really is apples to oranges.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is if you're looking at the versatility of the Neo, but if you're only buying a Neo as a selfie drone, then it's apples to apples.
Exactly.
Yeah, because some people, a TikToker or an Instagrammer that doesn't fly drones, they may be buying a Neo just to launch out of their Palm. They may never do anything but Palm launch it. At that point, the versatility doesn't mean anything to those people.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just going to be doing it and downloading video on TikTok or Instagram, and that's it. That's all they're doing.
But we talked about sticker shock. But I mean, if I'm an Instagrammer or TikToker, $199 sounds a lot better than these than almost up to $600 for that Max Pro.
Exactly. Price is price is a driving force, and that's going to be very key. And I think DJI, they do a lot of research before their products come to market. And I think they really kind of hit the nail on the head with this one, especially at $199. A lot of people are going to buy it. A lot of people are going to be able to use it and be able to do their TikToks and their Instagrams with it, because I think primarily that's what we're going to see a lot of the use out of. I don't think we're going to see a lot of people who are going to take their Neo home, download the footage, and upload it to YouTube that way. Okay. I think it's going to be, they're just going to throw it out to Instagram, throw it out to TikTok, just like it is.
And with the way the hover folds up, they say the Neo is pocketable, but the hover is a lot more pocketable with the way it folds in half.
That's true. That's very true. Well, I do want to go ahead and spend some time. Drone DJ did put a great article out here about, let me bring it up here. Okay. About the Neo. And I also want to talk about several things because I've watched a boatload of videos.
How can you not, huh? If you turn YouTube
yeah.
on.
I mean, I think the first one I watched was Billy's, then I watched a couple of Ken's, then I watched Aldrin's, then I watched Potato Jets. I mean, it was like,
I don't even need to get the drone now, Bill. I've seen it all on other people's videos. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can skip it now.
Yeah. DJI released its newest drone offering, the Neo, the ultralight, hands-free, and budget drone that still packs everything you need to capture the moment without compromise. A first of its kind drone for the company. It'll compete directly the Hover Air's X1 Pro and X1 Pro Max, which we already talked about it. And you can see right here, with the specs, 135 grams, half image sensor, 12 megapixel stills, up to 4K 30, 22 gigabytes of internal storage, 18 minutes of flight time, DJI Mic 2 compatibility, level 4 wind resistance, automatic return to home. I mean, it really is, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with this, Ron. For $199, that's a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It really is. And included in both bundles are propeller guards, spare propellers, Type-C cable, screwdriver, propeller screws. One of the things that I think was really curious was, and Billy addressed it right away up front in his video when he said, that the combo isn't available in the U.S. with the controller. All right. And, I have searched high and low, and I haven't really seen any reasonable explanation why DJI has done that, Ron. Have you?
No. Again, it makes little sense. Outside of saying this a total guess, but they think everybody in the U.S. already owns the compatible controllers.
Yeah,
that's my only guess.
Yeah, and because I'm sitting there during the show or during the launch, and lo and behold, I'm up doing my firmware update, and I see on there, and I'm reading it live on the air. DJI RC2 is compatible with the DJI Neo. Hello. Mm-hmm. The next thing I know, up pops the screen, and where you can select the drone, and the DJI Neo is right on that screen there. So,
yeah. Well, Lon said on the show last night, and Lon wasn't actually under it, he's in chat. He said the Air 3S will ship with the DJI RC N3 if you buy the basic bundle.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So really, if you were smart, if you're a drone fan like us, if you really want that guitar, you just wait and pick it up with when another drone comes out with it included in the kit.
Exactly, like when the Air 3S comes out, just wait for that. Okay, and here's the other thing too. Okay, for me, I've gotten spoiled with having the R2. Okay, I don't want to hook up a phone anymore. Okay,
right.
I don't want. The last time I've hooked up a phone was when I took the Spectrum Mini out. All right.
Right.
Because that there's no controller like that per se, but very.
I guess the only advantage of having the regular controller is if you are like a TikTok or Instagrammer and you just want to put it in like your small bag, you don't want to scratch the screen up. You would rather just throw that regular controller in a bag.
Yeah,
and not scratch the screen up or whatever.
Exactly. Okay, and I think
it is smaller and lighter than taking the DJI RC2 with you.
Yeah,
There you
Michael,
go.
right.
There you go.
Yeah, I talked
The
about
new,
that.
the
I
new
saw that
Snug
earlier.
Riders. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, Snug Riders. Yep. So, yeah.
Mike, did you pre-order the Neo? Haven't
Yeah,
talked to Mike right to see
and
if he.
Tom brings up a good point too, is the community's really going to grow because of this. I mean, we're going to see an influx of people, and I hate to say they aren't really going to be part 107ers or hobbyists like most of us, 99% of us here that watch the show. They're going to be TikTokers, Instagrammers, vloggers are going to be the ones that are going to be picking this drone up, and they're going to be doing it. Like I said, they're not going to be messing around with downloading it to their PC and editing it. They're just going to throw it out there as is. Boom, there it is. It's out there. It's on Instagram. Yeah. It's on TikTok, because that's what that generation wants. That they like those videos. They love that kind of stuff, and more power to them.
That's a good theory, but I'll be surprised when I'm actually see somebody flying a Neo out in the wild, though. Because as far as I know now, the only people talking about buying Neo are drone heads like us to buy anything.
Well, John, unfortunately, every video I've watched and every comment I've heard is decibel wise, it's not as bad as like the original Mavic Air.
But it has that whiny high pitch to it.
It has a very whiny high pitch to it. So, you're not going to be stealthful when you're flying the Neo. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Indoors is probably going to it's probably going to scare the mice out of the walls.
Yeah, and I told, I've already gotten the evil eye from Valerie about trying to fly this indoors. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. But, it's just going to be one of those things. Mr. Marcus Crawford, how are you, sir?
Gentlemen, and I use that term loosely.
Idaho's foremost Neo expert here on the panel now.
And a new proud owner of a orange Corvette.
Orange Crush, man. That thing.
Man, wow. Okay.
Marcus, it's easier to order a new Corvette than it is a Neo drone.
Well, that's a fact. That is absolutely true. Yeah, that is
amazing. Absolutely amazing. We'll talk more about that later. But one of the things we were just talking about, Marcus, is the noise factor, the high pitch, because no matter what video you watched, okay, and I've watched them all. I watched Billy's, I watched Ken's, I watched Potato Jet's, I watched Sean from Air Photography. That pitch is there. There's not a doggone thing you can do about that.
Marcus, John Olson's worried that's going to scare his cats.
It'll scare the cat.
John, you better get some headphones for your cat. That's what I can tell you. Okay, because it's loud. All right, it's loud. But that's part of the name of the game. The way the motors and the props are on it, that's just the way it's going to be. You just don't, you don't have any recourse with it. I mean, it's just not going to happen. The way it's designed, that's just engineering wise, it's not going to happen. So maybe somebody will come out with some props that'll help. I don't know.
Tom said that it's a higher pitch than the Avata 2.
Wow, that's pretty high. Okay,
hey, did we ever get a definitive reason for why it's delayed? I've heard shipping problems and all that, but really nothing definitive.
Well, I know Casey Crime Fighter just put down. His is scheduled to ship September 30th. He had just posted that on there. Okay. Wow. Joe America. Wow. Okay. Gotta be careful with that, Joe, because a lot of times getting, and I'm speaking from my ham radio experience, like if you were to buy like a popular model of a ham radio that's sold here in the United States from Japan, all right, that's only made for the Japanese market, okay? And it's those kind of drone products are only made for certain frequencies up in Canada, so their controllers may operate on different frequencies than they do down here, and it might not work. So I would be very careful in doing that, just to let you know. That's just.
Well, Marcus discovered last night that Lauren's store only had the bundle with the controller available.
Okay. Right. That's interesting. Marcus, did Lauren say any reason why the United States wasn't getting the bundle with the controller?
I don't know if he would know. I did not ask him, so
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
just, it's just one of those curious. It's like, okay, Valerie asks me these curious George questions all the time. Can you tell, sweetheart, can you tell me this? Okay. And boom. All right. Well, this is kind of Bill asking, it's just curiosity for me. Was there a reason behind it? And I know Ron and I were talking a little bit about it, was, that maybe because of the DJI R2 controller already working with them, and they figured a lot of people had them, there's no need to go ahead and try to bundle it up here in the United States. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I was kind of mad at first when we saw that you couldn't get the full bundle in the US, but then once I found out that I could fly it with my RC2, forget it. I don't need that RC-N3 controller.
Yeah, and that's exactly, for me as well too. And then they just came out today and with a firmware update that for the RC-N3 controller, it's going to work the Air 3 and the Mini 4 Pro. So, it's jack of all trades.
Before you came on, Marcus, I told Bill that Lon said in the chat last night that the Air 3S will come with the DJI RC N3. So if you just wait, you'll get there. And who knows, the way things are going, Bill, the Air 3S may come to us in the US before the Neo does.
Yeah, you are 100% right on that, Ron. I was thinking about that today. I said, I think DJI they're geared up to get these drones out, and I think we're going to see early October release for the Air 3S. I don't think they're going to go too deep into October. That's just me, because of what's going on in Washington and all the politics. Because
I hope you're right, Bill. I absolutely hope you're right. However, this Neo rollout isn't giving me a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill, Marcus and I had a private conversation today. Not that anything in the conversation is private today, but just on the phone. And Marcus, we were talking about the Neo. If the Air 3S comes out at the same time we're supposed to get the Neo, I may just cancel Neo because I really want to fool around with the Air 3. I'm not putting the Air 3S in the back burner to mess around with this Neo. I may cancel Neo if they come at the same time.
That's a thought.
So to your point, Ron, I already canceled the Neo. Bill, I ordered it with I used my friend Ron Brown's link, and I ordered it. However, I ended up canceling once it got pushed out, because originally I think it said it would arrive on September 26th or something like that. And then pretty soon it said October 6th. And then again, you got another one.
Like the 10th or something. Yeah.
October 10th. And so I said, you know what? I give. As soon as, the day that I can go on Amazon and order one and buy it.
And now I can't get mine because I don't have Marcus' affiliate money. Marcus, I lost that 5 cents.
That's
from me and my Amazon affiliate link.
That's it. But I just canceled it because I thought, well, you know what? When they're available, and I'll just get one then.
Plus, you're making a statement, Marcus. You're sticking to the man.
Well, I don't know about that, Ron, but to your point is, well, I get you're joking, I know, but you made a comment earlier that, hey, what if the Air 3S got released? Well, hey, maybe then I wouldn't even want the Neo, because then you're trying to. I
want to put full concentration in the Air 3S when it comes out. I don't want to have to put it aside and make the 1,500,000 Neo video flying out of the palm of my hand. I mean, that'll be so so last year or whatever, by that point, so last month.
And you know what, Ron, you and I aren't selfie drone people. And ultimately, that's what the little Neo is. I applaud DJI for the other technology they put into it. What did you tell Bill already about the conversation we had today about whether it's, comparing it to a camera drone or comparing it to the Avata 2, etc.? Did you go over that math?
No.
Yeah. Bill, do you want us to talk about that? It is I think we kind of came to some.
Yeah, go ahead, for sure.
Well, if you Ron, I think, has correctly figured out that a lot of people are buying the Neo for its FPV capabilities, right? So just think if you're a new person and you go, okay, well, I'll buy the Neo, and you buy the 3 battery pack or whatever. Well, then you got to go out and buy the goggles 3,
Which I looked it up, Marcus. They're like about 400 up below.
about $400. Okay, so then you got to buy either the motion controller 2, or more likely,
if you're going to do a real FPV, you got to spend 200 for the FPV3 controller.
And that's what most people are going to do, is probably get that FP3.
So that, Bill, that's 400, 200, another 300 for the battery kit. Now you're up to $900.
Why not just buy the Avata 2?
You can buy an Avata 2.
Yeah,
exactly. That makes perfect sense.
From the camera drone perspective, I think it's even more, because if what you really want is to fly a camera drone with some range and some flight time, battery life, etc., why wouldn't you buy the little Mini 4K or the Mini 3? The Mini 4K.
Go with the 4K. That's $299. If you buy the Neo bundle with the controller in the US, that'd be $349. So you're paying $50 more to get a camera drone that's not as good.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So really, the real value of the Neo is that automated flight and as a selfie drone. That's where its really value comes into play. And if that's what you're looking for, that's for sure that what you'd want, and it's priced competitively. Again, though, I want to say that I'm glad that DJI added those other things to it.
We're not knocking them for that. No.
Yeah, I'm glad that they added that. I'm just saying that if what you really want is an FPV drone, buy the Avata 2, you'll be a lot happier.
Now, again, if you're somebody like Tom, if you already have all that gear, if you've already invested thousands in that gear or whatever, then it's only an additional, like, say $300 for you, whatever. But that's a different conversation than a beginner, somebody trying to get into the hobby.
Exactly. Yep. Okay. Because you really made a great point with this, Marcus and Ron, because if you already have an Avata with all the bells and whistles, okay, getting a Neo is a no-brainer, okay, because it'll work with everything. Okay. Right. That's just, and you won't be spending that extra money because you already have that and it'll be compatible.
You've already dropped that $1,000+ for the Avata 2 kit. And you have to say Avata 2, the Avata 1 accessories won't work with it. It has to be the more the cheaper drone than the Avata 1.
And then if you took advantage of that deal that B&H had yesterday, you'd really be in good, okay? Because that was a crazy deal.
I think that was the Avata 1. I think that was the Avata 1, Bill, but I'm not positive.
How much, Bill?
Let me go ahead.
It was a $788 deal, but I think it was the Avata 1 and not the 2.
Yeah, that's the Avata 1. I'm sorry. It was the Avata 1. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but still, that's a good deal.
Yeah, but
the Avata 1
accessories will be
788. Yeah. And it's now $848.
Not saying they won't get compatible in the future, but right now they're not.
Well, whether it's compatible or not, I'm saying that if somebody wants to get into the DJI style of FPV, that Avata 1 for $800, not a bad deal.
Yeah, Tom's saying that, say you had the Avata 2 like me, you never fly manual, that if I got the deal, I may be more willing to risk a biscuit to learn on manual on the Neo since it's a cheap drone.
That's an excellent point. And I really appreciate that DJI gave us that capability. All I'm saying is I hope that somebody new has visions of being Bardwell or something like that, and they buy that drone, and next thing you know, they're spending $1,000 getting it to do what they want to do.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Mark's not the typical Avata 2 owners at all, but I struggle to fly the Avata 2 once a month, let alone getting another like FPV type drone.
Yeah,
I totally relate to that.
This is, and I'm really glad we're having this discussion because I'm hoping we're opening up a lot of people's eyes about the Neo. All right, because I think people have the impression, that this is going to be like a smaller version of a DJI Mini drone, and they're going to be really in for I want to use the word sticker shock, but they're going to be in for a shock when they open up that package fire it up and take a look at it, and it's
a side shock is what they're in for.
Exactly.
I think Lauren hit the nail on the head yesterday on Drone Nation, where he basically, his words were, it's a gateway drug. So he gets them in the door and gets them into the DJI ecosystem, I guess in every other country but the United States.
And Bill, I asked Lauren, I said, what does the DJI Neo do for me if I already own the Mini 4 Pro, the Air 3, the Mavic 3 Pro, and the Avata 2? What does the Neo do for me? He said, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I can tell you in my case, and I think in both of your cases too, we're technical geeks, and we just like the technology and we like the stuff. And hey, that's why I'm going to get it. I just love that kind of stuff.
Here's a fun to fly good technology. This sits on the shelf. After you have it 6 months, it sits on the shelf and never moves again.
So that's the other conversation Ron and I had earlier today. The Neo will be awesome. I'll get it and I'll fly it and I'll have fun with it. But if I'm going out someplace and I want to get some cinematic video, or say I'm traveling to Hawaii,
your next trip to Hawaii.
Yeah, I'm not going to take the Neo. I'm going to take my Mini 4 Pro, or
Yeah. Basically, it's I think we ask Lauren or ask somebody, is it a toy or a tool? Is it a toy or a tool? And people keep saying it's more a toy than it is tool.
I agree with that statement.
And Gary's got he's learned that PV.
Yeah, he makes a great point. Jerry makes a great point there that I totally agree with you. It's a good way to start to fly manual mode with FPV, and it's so durable that that's a really solid.
If you already own the goggles and control equipment, and you want to learn to fly manual acro or whatever, I definitely see the point to it.
Yeah,
but that's not.
I wanted to spend a few minutes here at the end of the show. A couple of things. One, keep Johnny and all the folks down in Louisiana in your thoughts and prayers. They got a tropical storm coming through, and I'm going to tell you this: we had a tropical storm come through that was worse than the hurricane last year that came through. All right, they dumped so much rain on us. We're still having issues with flooding right now. Okay, and our meteorologist said that we're at least 6 inches over, and we had a drought this year, and we're at least 6 inches over our rainfall total from last year already, and it's not even, we're not even in October yet, okay? So, wind and rain is a very lethal combination. So, remember Johnny and all the good folks in that area, because they're going to be in for a hellacious 24 to 48 hours. There's no questions asked the way those bands are looking right now. So, keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
Keep them in the prayers. Yeah.
I had
real quick. I didn't get to say this last night in Drone Nation, but we lost a great voice yesterday or whatever. The Darth Vader.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, 93
away,
years old. Yeah.
And I saw that clip, and it was just such an incredible clip from A Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
That clip was just fantastic. And then, he was in The Hunt for Red October, just a score of movies. I mean, he was larger than life. Well, the first movie he was in was Dr. Strangelove.
Really?
Right. Yeah, he was the radio man, or what was he?
Radio operator on the plane. Okay. Well,
I didn't know that.
Valerie had never seen that movie before, and she loved it. And who her favorite character was? Dr. Strangelove himself. You're raising the hand up and putting it down and all that.
Well, and then Slim Pickens. Slim Pickens was just amazing.
Captain Kong or something with his character's name in it. But Peter Sellers, actually, his Dr. Strangelove was the typical Peter Sellers, but I thought like him playing the president, he did that really well, because he didn't kind of overham it up like he usually does. He kind of played it somewhat straight, and he was really good.
Oh, he did. He just did to a T.
If people don't see the movie, Peter Sellers plays 3 of the main roles in the movie.
Well,
what I like though is when he was calling the Russian premiere, all the Russian big shots were all drunk on vodka.
Yeah. And how
But
about George C. Scott being the American general? You
I was
know,
just going to say
Yeah,
that.
he was
You
the
know,
colonel
some
for
of
that.
those scenes with George C. Scott, okay, Stanley Kubrick said, the cameras aren't rolling. You're fine. Go. Okay. And he went and he got some of the best. He actually was rolling his cameras in.
Scott went over the top acting when he didn't think they were filming. Yeah.
And George C. Scott found out about it, and supposedly he never talked to him again because of that. So, but that was a stellar role for him as well, too. That was just a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
This weekend, I had a little bit of a medical issue. And on Saturday, Valerie had gone out to get her hair done. She comes back, and I told her, I said, I think I have something wrong with my vision, okay, in my left eye. And we went to the eye doctor, and I got a very thorough exam, which was great. I have what's called an eye floater in my left eye. And if you know what eye floaters are, it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like almost a C or a semicircle, a jagged one. And unfortunately, this is a condition that's never going to go away. All right. It's going to be there. But what the eye doctor told me is your brain will trick yourself into not seeing it over the years. So it will happen. There are a couple of things that you can do. You can do what's called laser. You can do laser surgery, but everything I've read about that, it comes back. You can do a much more delicate surgery, but they kind of save that only for the instances where it looks like there's going to be an issue with the retina. Because what this is there's a problem with the liquid in the eye as you get older. And this is what the eye doctor was telling me. And he said, in your case, we're just going to keep an eye on it. You know, he wants me to come back in 4 to 6 weeks. They did a very thorough exam of both eyes. He said the other eye is fine. You know, there's no issues. So we're just going to keep an eye on it for now. And for me, I've already done some things that are helping out. Like if I look straight ahead, I don't have that problem. Also, if the room's darker, I don't have that problem. Also, you know, as long as I am, you know, really as I'm engaged with stuff and working and doing things, I ignore it totally. I mean, it really is not kind of a second thing to me. But I was concerned right away because I thought, you know, this could be an indication of something serious going on. But he checked me out thoroughly, and I'm going to follow up in 4 to 6 weeks, and I'm going to go see an ophthalmologist. He's an OD. He's not ophthalmologist, but I'm going to go see an ophthalmologist as well, and just, you know, be 100% with this, because vision is something you don't mess around with.
Bill, real quick story. Last winter, I was walking around, and in the middle of a walk, the floater broke off, and I thought I had something in my eye for a while until I figured out it was more than that. Well, I made an appointment. You know, I didn't go right away, but I eventually got an appointment with Susan's eye doctor, and I go in there and I say, I got something in my eye. He goes, "Up, you got a floater in there." And I said, what can we do about that? He said, "Well, how old are you?" I said, "Well, you know," I'm like, you know, I'm almost 6. I'll be 65 this year, whatever he said. Close enough. And he said, "We're going to take your cataracts. The cataracts out, no more floater."
Yeah.
Gents, I got to run here. I've got something I want to check out here real quick.
I understand. Are you going to be at the debate tonight, Marcus?
I'm not going to be there, but I sure want to watch every inch of it. So
okay, good night.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Bill.
Good night, gents.
But
good night, guys.
You were saying, my floater before I had the surgery. When I was in Florida for the meetup, I still had the floater, but you start to not notice it after a while. But by the time I had the surgery, it wasn't that big of a deal anymore. I kind of just learned to not notice it or whatever.
Yeah, I have the beginning of cataracts, so it's not surgery ready yet.
Well, I had the beginnings, but like I said, you know, he just went ahead and did it because, you know, when you're 65, I guess he can wiggle room. You know, he can get it under that thing, so it didn't really cost me anything to do it outside of, you know, my copay. Basically, it was free to get done because I was close enough to being 65.
Now, after you had that done, you didn't see him anymore, right?
Funny you should say that. I go for well, I had a follow up immediately the next week.
Okay.
But I go for my, like, it's not 6 months, but I go for like my 4-month follow up next week.
Okay. Now, did it take care of the floater?
Yeah, I mean the floater was instantly gone. He did the eye
Wow.
first for the floater because he did both cataracts. He did one week and one the next week. And as soon as I mean I really couldn't see anything for about a day or whatever. Well, I went right back to I saw him the next day. He checked the next day. By the time they took the bandages off and they had me do the eye test, I mean I had 20/20 vision 24 hours after surgery. I haven't had 20/20 vision since I was a kid, right? And
That's
no floater.
incredible.
And I said, hey doctor, the floater's gone. He said, yeah, how about that? Like kind of smiling,
Wow.
laughing at me, But again,
Wow.
I have one of the top eye guys in South Jersey. So I mean, he handles people from Africa come to see him or whatever. He's so renowned. So I mean, I had a top guy, and he handled it like it was nothing.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going to go see an ophthalmologist who does that and ask him about that, because I think that's a route that I want to go, because I know mine are both beginning right now. I'm just like, we can do it under insurance. Let's nip it in the bud.
Yeah, because you're 65, so you should be able to get cataracts for basically nothing. Now they'll want to upsell you, put these they put lenses in. They'll want to upsell you and sell you like the $500 lenses, but I got the free lenses, and all I need to do is wear readers once in a while, whatever. But I mean, I could do a lot of reading without the glasses, but if it's really intense reading, I put the readers on the dollar store readers.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
So now I don't have to have a $500 pair of glasses in my head at all times.
Yeah. Yeah. So
anyway, sorry we got off to
medical off the subject there a little bit.
Bill and Ron's medical adventures here for old guys.
Yeah.
But I think we did. We've covered a lot of ground on the Neo. We basically said all we could say until it arrives. But Bill, did you see the latest rumor from Jasper today? And this rumor has been floating around for quite a while now that DJI is going to release a mirrorless camera based on their Hasselblad technology. I mean, a real honest to goodness photographer's camera, whatever.
Yeah, I saw that.
They've got all the technology. They got the Hasselblad technology or whatever. Do you think that's something? I mean, I don't think it's coming out like next week or next month, but do you see that something like that in the pipeline from DJI?
Yeah, it could be. I'm thinking something like that's going to hit in 2025. I don't see it coming in 2024.
And why you have people have doubts that it's a tough market. Like DJI owns the drone market, and they're right in there in the action camera market. So, but you're going and you're competing against Sony, Canon, Nikon, Panasonic. There's some big boys out there in the camera. You just don't walk in and take over. I mean, if they're going to get a foothold in the camera market, they have to be, not only do the technology have to be on point, the pricing has to be on point.
Exactly. They're going to get up against some stiff competition for that. That's for sure.
That's like if you're a startup car company, you're trying to compete with Toyota.
Yeah. Exactly. So
I'm not saying you can't do it because they have the Hasselblad thing going on or whatever. But of course, I mean, as much as Hasselblad sounds like a big name, they're a boutique camera company. They never really played ball with the big guys like Canon and Nikon. They just made a bunch of high end, what do you call those medium format cameras or whatever. In other words, as opposed to cars, they made some high end Lamborghini. But that couldn't, that would never sell as much as like the Toyota would, or a Ford truck or something.
Exactly. Any other closing thoughts, Ron?
No. Like I said, we're just kind of on the Neo wait now. And Bill, I think here's one thing we didn't get to talk about: how soon is the Action 5 or the Action 5 Pro coming? Is that coming any day now? Because the GoPro Hero 13, pre-order's over. It's out now. You can order it and get it in 2 days now.
Yeah, I would think that's coming. That's imminent. I would say probably within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking for the email this week, but if not, I'm saying next week, because I think they want to get. They don't want to push that right back to the Air 3S launch. They want a little bit of space in between, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. They want to have a little bit of a gap.
Yeah. If they can release that product and have it shipped immediately, maybe that'll give them a little good grace in the U.S. since we're kind of mad at them now for the
Neo. Yeah, this whole thing. So who knows? So I agree with you, Ron. I think that's going to be exciting to find this out. We got a lot of things to look forward to coming up towards the end of the year. Got Guys, thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Really appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are awesome in the chat. Thank you. Please keep that up. Thank you so much. Appreciate each and every one of you. Hope
Good night,
you guys
everybody.
all have a rest of your day. As always, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.
Good night.